It is the Dallas Cowboys owner and general manager, Jerry Jones. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, Kevin, Corey, Mike. Good to be with you today.
Yes, sir.
So we had to know, how was your birthday a couple days ago, and what do you buy? What do people get you as gifts for the man who owns the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, it was a wonderful day, and I got to communicate with people that mean the most, and I've certainly got that. I have some wonderful kids, grandkids, and they can get pretty entertaining when they're wishing old Pops a little happy birthday, and so I always do enjoy that. And it's relatively quiet because we get to see. One of the great things about what we do is we get to see each other a lot because they, of course, love the Cowboys. They are very involved in the games and activities around our training camp, and several of us work together. So it's not a question of just seeing each other. It's more a question of just kind of reaching out, touching. I know you're there, and so it was as a game or as a get together goes. It was real quiet, but it was real rewarding. I can't believe that these years have rolled around like they have, but as Clint Eastwood said, I'm not going to let the old man in.
Jerry, I believe you're too popular for this now to do this. So I was wondering, when was the last time you went to the State Fair of Texas, grabbed yourself a Fletcher's corny dog and some mustard and roamed around and looked at all the cars there?
It's been a little while, and certainly in terms of years. And the going to the fair was always a tremendous fun thing for me. Growing up, we had a big parade at our place over in the Little Rock area, and I'd ride in that parade in something. My father put me on a little Shetland pony one time when I was too tall. I was about 14, and I held the sign up for his supermarket, and I rode that Shetland pony all the way from one town to the other town, and it was several miles. Well, I was a little embarrassed because my feet almost drug the ground, and all my buddies and friends were pointing at me and making fun, but Dad wanted me to do it, and Mother wanted me to do it. Well, we get it over, the parade's over, and it's time to go home, and the pony, known for stubbornness, would not move. It just would not move. So my mother had a little convertible, and she took the back seat out of that convertible. We shoved that Shetland pony and stood it up in the back seat.
Oh, my God.
Rode home with that pony standing in the back seat. It caused wrecks almost, and that's the way we should have done the parade, is have that pony ride down through there in that back seat. But we had a big time, but it gives you a lot of the spunk of my mama.
That's an amazing story, and I don't really know how to transition out of that.
I got you, Jerry. I always love hearing these stories. They're always great. I do want to kind of turn a little attention, though, to Foxborough.
Because I would look at that pony in the car, too.
I would, too, man. I would just be like, what is happening? I have to see what's going on. What's the experience like in Foxborough? You know, we always hear these stories, of something's going on with Belichick. He's doing something up there. But what's the experience like as the owner, going up there, being around those fans, and being at that stadium?
Well, first of all, we haven't gone up there many times, unbelievably, in 30 years. I can count them on my fingers when I've been there. And they've had, of course, Belichick as their coach for a long time. But it's great NFL. You have that New England feeling. You just feel it like you picture it away. They've done a great job. They're a great sports town, and so they, being the Krafts and Belichick, and they've done a great job of having a lot of interest in football because they've got a lot of competition up there. Baseball's big, basketball's big, hockey's big. So they've done a great job, and it's really a lot of fun. And you go up there, they really take I think a lot of pride in how they have evolved over the years. You know, the record on that team is a little similar to when I call about the record, his ownership, Kraft's and his family's ownership, because they took over a franchise that had really been on hard times, had 3 or 4 owners, and have turned that into one of the great teams in the country and world.
Now, one of the concerns that Cowboys fans may have, I want to know if you can assuage any of those fears, is Trayvon Diggs and Tyron Smith. How are we feeling? How they looking for Sunday's game?
Looking good. They're going to be ready to go, and we've gotten full positive reports on Tyron, and Diggs will be ready to play, and so there's no being coy about it. Was every reason to let them get rested, let them ease off on some of the issues that they might have had, but they'll be ready to play.
Well, and Jerry, with the emergence of Terrence Steele, not necessarily this week or next, but when Lyle Collins does come back, if something was to happen, would you feel confident? You feel confident that you can put him on either side?
Well, of course, we've got other Nisha. I have a tough time with his name, but he's ready to play this weekend as well.
Gotcha. Oh, Naseki? Is it Naseki that you're talking about?
Yeah. But Naseki is ready to go, and so he can step in there should we have an issue with Tyron.
Now, I know we like to, and the NFL likes to keep it on the field, but unfortunately, one of the big discussion points has been all the emails from the investigation of the Washington football team. I was curious, what are your thoughts about the people calling for the league to release all of their findings or all of the emails that they dug up as part of this investigation?
Well, I know that you have, as we all know, there are legal restrictions on the kinds of things that kinds of information. When you acquire that information in a legal text and you accumulate it, then you have restrictions, or you accumulate that information on the condition that it won't be public. And so all of that is very important to get down to the bottom of it, and that's to me, that's the status. If you don't see it, it'll be because it's candidly not in the best thing for future investigations. You want people to go freely, speak freely, give their information, and more often than not, they don't want to be have their comments or have their opinions or have their experiences go public.
Jerry, with Bill Belichick, he likes to take away something from each opponent. He likes to take, he'll say, I want to take away this passing game, or I'm going to take this out of the running game. What do you think that he wants to try and look at y'all's weakness and take that away, or maybe even whatever the Cowboys' biggest strength is?
Well, again, your question implies my answer is going to address our weakness, and I don't want it to.
All right.
That's not the case. But he will look for ways to have some winning plays on special teams. I admire him for that, and I think it's been a big reason for their success. And he won't give you the looks that you expect. I admire that. A lot of coaches talk about we're going to take the attributes of the players that we've got ready to play Sunday, and we're going to tailor what we do based upon how they can best execute them. A lot of coaches talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk on that. He does. He puts out there imaginative schemes. He uses his talent that he's got available to him that day, and he does that. And he makes unconventional decisions in many cases out there, and it works, and he's been so successful with it. So I really admire him as a coach.
When it comes to Belichick, we were listening to audio of some of his press conferences, and he was really praising your son, Stephen Jones, on a lot of kind of maybe the construction of talent that has been accumulated that he's about to have to compete against on Sunday. What do you say about maybe your son, Stephen, on how he's done and then maybe grown into this over time on being a guy that has constructed a roster that looks like it can compete for a championship?
Well, I think this. I think Stephen would be the first to tell you that it's a team effort. But I personally think that the job that Stephen has done has been outstanding, and that encompasses not only the salary cap, but also the use of our resources. And I think he combines all of that. He knows that there's accountability to our salary cap 3 years down the road. And so when you make a decision today, it's got to be ready to be ingested relative to what you've got to spend down the road. I think all of that is very important. Looking at the whole picture is extremely important. He does that. Stephen, we thought, was, as a dad, I wanted him to drill wells and he was a chemical engineer. And so the farthest thing from his mind, I'm sure, was doing what he's doing today. But he's outstanding there. He's outstanding in his league participation. He's on the competition committee, and they set the game and set the rules. He enjoys a great reputation on that competition committee. And so that gets him down in the weeds relative to what we're doing. And so he's a great asset to us, and is 30 years in the making. What is that? The old overnight success.
Now, speaking of Stephen, we have him on every Monday, and a couple of weeks ago, he had to emphatically shut the door so people wouldn't interrupt him. Is it entirely possible, as observant people that we are, that you had to just emphatically knock on your desk to get somebody out of the way of our conversation?
That's exactly right. I couldn't concentrate on my answer at all because of the action that was going on right outside the area. And so that's exactly what you heard. And if you heard glass break, that might have been what's coming.
Hey,
Pepsi I've got going that way.
Jerry, I had a dream last night that Diggs did not get another interception, but he did pick up a fumble for 6 points. Would it be a letdown after what he's accomplished so far this year if he didn't get an interception?
Keep going.
Would that be a letdown for you? You saying just keep going, just keep getting them?
Well, I'd hate to let your dreams down now, because you can have some fun in dreams.
Mm-hmm, yep.
But the answer is no, because we all know that the presence, his abilities are becoming pretty accepted, and so that will impact the offenses that we play. Deion Sanders had that impact, and they played away from Deion. And it was like, in many cases, having 12 guys out there. And it was a heck of an advantage, and we used it. It's very similar to using the sideline. When you've got a ball positioned on the field, you should use your sideline as though it were another player over there if you've got the edge on hemming it in, tackling or pass defense. So bottom line is that Diggs' abilities, his continued evolving, will help this defense in a lot of ways. Same thing with some of the other guys that we've got out there that are showing some inordinate skills that can have a team game planning. I'll never forget Ernie Zampese. We were lining up our best players after the season one year in the early 90s or middle 90s. And we would put our top guy up there, and it might be Aikman in most cases, or it might be Emmitt Smith. We'd go down the list. And our offensive coordinator, Ernie Zampese, would walk up to the board and put Charles Haley 8 inches above Aikman. Wow. And he would say, guys, this is where Charles Haley needs to go. I have game planned against him, and I understand what he is. He absolutely wrecks the mentality of any offensive coach he faces. You've got to account for him. I put him at the top of the list.
Now, I know you said we don't want to crush Corey's dreams, and I understand everyone at the Star is focused on the Patriots, but When do you look at the way the season is going and allow yourself to dream about maybe a return to the Super Bowl?
But I can do that after a ball game, and I do. There's so much of our game that gives you reason to be concerned or reason to doubt because just the nature of if you look ahead at the competition, if you look ahead at the happen chance that happens in a ball game, that you can have the best team and still not come out with the win. When you look at all of the things that are ahead for you, but then you have a time, for whatever the reason, a play, a quarter, or an end of the game, to think positively, you get all over that. Jump all over it, ingest it any way you can, just soak up in it because they're rare in football. And that's what keeps you excited and passionate about making your next decision with a lot of positive to it.
Well, Jerry, we appreciate having you on every week. Our only request is go easy on whoever was trying to distract us, and we'll catch you again next Friday.
If I've shared their name, you'd know I'm going to go easy.
Oh, awesome. Thank you very much, Jerry.
I'll ask them sweetly, could you hold it down, please, just a little bit for me? There won't be any growling at that person, I promise you.
Outstanding. Thank you very
Jerry.
much, good sir.
Bye.